All right, everybody, let's get started. It's 5:30. I'll call the Mandan Public School District Number 1 meeting to order. It's Monday, April 6, 2026. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Administration has none. Does anybody else have any? What are the wishes of the board on the agenda?
I'd move that we approve the agenda as is.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item's public comment. Anybody want to address the board? Anybody want to address the board? One last time. Anybody want to address the board? All right. Not seeing anybody standing. We'll move on to the administrator's report. First thing on the administrator's report is the 2026 school board election, which is June 9th, 2026. Dr. Bitts.
Correct. The deadline to file as a candidate was 4 o'clock today. We ended up with 6 people filing for election, and we drew, or Mr. Legacy drew for the order that they'll appear on the ballot. They videotaped that. Justin Bailey, Julie Scarrett, Ashley Jacobczyk, Darren Haugen, Dusty Simmons, and Jill Miller is the order that they'll appear on the ballot. And I see Justin, Ashley, and Jill are all here tonight. So,
All right.
and Darren, sorry.
And Darren. Yeah. Well, welcome. Good luck to you all on the election. Thanks for being here tonight in relation to that. Thank you for that. Anything else you want to add on that?
No, just that the county's running the election, and it'll be together with the primary.
All right. And that's June 9th.
Yep.
All right. Next item on the agenda is State Superintendent Levi Backmeyer visit to Mandan High School, May 5th, 10:30 to 12:30. Dr. Bitts?
Yeah, his office emailed that they would like to visit Mandan High School. They gave us the hours they're here, and you are all invited to attend if you're able.
All right. And we're going to post that as a public meeting.
I will, so that
we have more than a quorum.
Yep.
All right.
And then,
if
if
you
I
want to
may
attend-
continue on,
Yeah, that's at the high school, right?
it is at the high school. Yes.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the next thing is our annual retirement and recognition dinner will be held at Venue 25 on May 6th, Wednesday, May 6th at 6 p.m. And Amy will be sending you something if you'd like to attend.
All right. Make sure you let Amy know if you're going to attend on that one. So make sure we got that covered in regard to it. Amy can put me down as a yes already. Next item, celebration at Mandan High School for Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools on April 15th at 9:45.
Correct, and this was rescheduled. They were going to come out in December, and weather prevented them from making the trip out here. Mandan is the only school in the state to receive this recognition this year. Just a real honor for our students, and that will take place. And again, you're welcome to attend that day as well if your schedule allows.
All right. And I hope that one goes off without a snowstorm.
I do too.
It's also tax day. All right. Any questions on any of those items for Dr. Bitts? All right. Thank you, Dr. Bitts. We'll move on to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have review and consider previous board minutes from March 16th, 2026. Accept policy and personnel minutes from March 23rd, 2026. Accept the Wellness Committee meeting minutes from March 30th, 2026. Review and consider approval of final reading of the following policies: JTA, Education of Homeless Students; JT-R, Education of Homeless Students Dispute Resolution; JTA-E, Mandan District Level Dispute Resolution Forum; JTA-E2, McKinney-Vento Homeless Program Dispute Resolution Initiation Forum; GAIA, Solicitation by Staff Members; GBKA, Reduction in Force; GBRID, Military Leave; GBS, Professional Organizations; GCB, Classified Positions; GDB, administrator hiring, promotion, and transfer. GDD, administrative leave and suspension. GDE, communicable diseases, significant contagious diseases. GDE-R, communicable diseases and significant contagious diseases. That's the reporting side of it. Review and consider approval of finding, reading to delete the following policies: GBRD staff meetings and GDA administrative positions. What's the wishes of the board?
I would move that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. And just for you guys in the audience here, in relation to some of you guys are running for board, normally what we do on those policies in relation to, we have one reading where we actually go through them and see what the changes are, and then they come back a second time for final approval, and this is the second time on the approval for the board. Just to kind of give you an idea why we went through a bunch of policies without doing anything with them, because we did it last meeting. Next item is unfinished businesses. We have no unfinished businesses, so we'll move to new business. Review and consider approval of update school resources office agreement with the city of Mandan. Dr. Ritterath.
Yes, Chief Ziegler and Mr. Meshke and I met about a week ago to review their current MOU, and really the changes and the one that is now in your packet, updated, just cleaned up some wording, updated the century code sites in there had changed a little bit, but there were no substantive changes as far as scope of service or cost of service in there. It is written to that it'll automatically renew each year, but we can certainly meet yearly to address it if we needed to. Chief has taken this to his board and who needs to approve it on his end, and now I'm taking it to you to approve, or if there's anything that you have questions on, I certainly can take it back to them.
Okay, so the city's already approved it.
Yes. Yep.
Any questions, comments, wishes of the board, anything on this one?
I would move that we approve it as it's stated in the packet.
All right, we got a motion to approve the update of the school resource agreement with the city of Mandan. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item, review and consider approval of New Life Hacks course for alternative education school students. Dr. Ritterath.
Yes, you'll see a course description in your packet. This was approved by Student Achievement at their last meeting. This is a class that is only state course code for alternative setting. It's not something that we can offer in a non-alternative setting. And it's set up to be asynchronous. And if you'll look, there's a varying skills that students will demonstrate within this course. It might be everything from understanding a budget to understanding how to advocate for themselves medically to all those different just life skills. And it's designed that a student could work on it and finish it in a semester. They could work on it throughout their 3 years in the alternative education, however long it takes them to demonstrate their competency in these areas. Then they can earn a half credit. So they'll have a mentor in this. Their mentor would either be their teacher through the Brave Center Academy. It might be Lynette Horn, the social worker at the high school, whoever's appropriate for that student that can work with them and know that they understand the different concepts that are being discussed in here. And they might upload things like a job, like their pay stub or their tax return as documentation of those skills. So it's a neat course. Many of our students need some help in developing some of these outside of school skills to be successful, and this is a great way to do that.
All right, any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Dr. Morrell, I was curious about the curriculum, like the timeline of development, because I was reading through it, and some of the things I would like to have those life hacks. There's some things I don't know how to do in there, so I liked it a lot. But I noticed some things about like writing checks and that kind of thing, and some of the things that felt a little dated in certain parts. So I was curious about how often it's updated. And I saw later in it there's some fraud and cybersecurity kind of things, but I was thinking about passwords and just a lot of that sort of
Yeah.
locking down your your personal data and all of that. It felt like there needed to be a little more emphasis there, and I was curious how often it's updated.
You know, it was just developed through some consultation with some other alternative schools and what they're currently doing. So it is kind of a work in progress. And what I was telling Mr. Peters too is that to get credit, they don't necessarily have to demonstrate every single skill. There's a certain amount of hours and a certain amount of percentage in each area that's appropriate depending on the student. So for one student who's out on their own, things like how do I access housing assistance and how do I find affordable housing might be really pertinent, opposed to somebody who's wanting to go to college and needs some help with financial aid, or so they're able to tailor it to what that student needs. But I foresee them continuing to update and refine as they go.
And artificial intelligence too. I
Yes,
just think,
yeah.
knowing what's real and what's not. Just some of that stuff is really
Yes.
important, and I didn't see that reflected.
I will make a note for sure. Yes.
Any other questions? Not, I'm going to fire off a couple.
Yeah, please.
On the course code here, I'm not even sure what page this is on, page 50. You said it was a half credit, but when I'm looking here, it says a half or one max credit equal 4.
I believe we are only offering it for a half credit. I think, but with the course code works is that you can award it for up to 4 credits if you chose to as a school. Right now, we're choosing to only do it as a half credit course.
Okay.
It's not unlike ours. Some of our special education courses are coded the same way. It's the same code for like applied topics English, but they can get it up to 4 times. That's how this is coded as well. But we're just choosing to leverage it as a half credit option.
My other question is do all of our full-time students actually get most of this stuff? Because this is really pretty good life
It's interesting.
stuff, and it's like, I think everybody should be getting a lot of this.
It's interesting you brought that up because that's exactly what student achievement talked about. And right now, it's the state code only works for alternative ed. One of the conversations we've had, though, honestly, is our social emotional learning curriculum is up for review at the high school in the coming years. Does it make some sense to marry some of this together when we're talking about life decisions and those sorts of things? Do we take an approach similar to this course and embed some of those life skills within that coursework for our freshmen and sophomores?
All right, thank you. Anybody come up with any questions after I ask mine? If not, what are the wishes of the board?
I would move that we approve the New Life Hacks course for alternative education students.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is review and consider approval of a first reading for the following policies: CBRIG, sick leave bank; GBRIAA, political leave; HAK, ratification and implementation of negotiated contracts; HAE, board negotiation agent; HAB-HAD, negotiation objectives, goals and duties; ICFA, content standards and curriculum; IDAA, career and technical education; IDBB, drug education program; IDCA, summer programs; IDCF, cooperative work experience or programs; IDCH, independent study and correspondence course. If it's okay with the board, if we can do like we normally do, walk through them all, and if we have something to pull out, then we can take that separately, but address them all in one motion at the end, if that's okay.
Yes, that sounds great. I'll go through each of them and stop me if there's questions. So the first one is sick leave bank, and we didn't change anything on this. Originally, if you'll look at number 4 under committee, it's on the second page of the policy. We had a conversation about changing it from consensus to majority, but once the sick leave bank gave us some feedback on, they felt really strongly that it needs to be a consensus decision when we're talking sick leave bank, and we agreed, so we're going to leave that the same. Is the plan with the sick leave bank policy?
The words "need to keep the same" is going to come out of here right when it's
Yes,
final.
yes. I just put that in there so I remembered to talk about what we
I just wanted to
talked
make sure.
about. Yes, these will get cleaned up. The second one is actually the second time you're seeing this. This is the legislative political leave that there were some questions on last time. So the blue in here is kind of the new wording that I put in to really clarify that both legislative leave and other elective office leave would be leave without pay. for them, and just clarifying that the school district will pay for any substitute employee needed, but that the employee is responsible for the organization and coordination of their regular school responsibilities for them to function effectively and be prepared. So just trying to clarify some of the questions that came up last time. So if there's any further questions on that, or if you feel like it clears up what some of the confusion was. Okay, and then these next couple, we didn't propose any changes to the ratification and implementation procedure for negotiated contracts, board negotiation agent, negotiations, objectives, goals, and duties. I had Ryan Legacy, our business manager, review them. The century codes were still good. We didn't make any changes there. The next one, the content standards and curriculum, just cleaned a few things up, added some language in there about dual credit and advanced placement courses in their content standards, but no real substantive changes there. For the career and technical education, we just added in Heart River Career and Technical Education Center, since we're now a part of that. We felt like that needed to be reflected there. The drug education program policy, we did not make any changes there, but one of the conversations that came out is the wellness committee next year is going to take this policy and do a little bit of an audit of what are we doing as a district around drug education, because that was a lot of our conversation. Is we know they talk about it in ninth grade health, we know counselors touch on it at the elementary level, but really trying to get a picture of what are we doing and do we have some gaps, and maybe looking at that. So that came out of that conversation, but there's no changes to the policy. Summer programs, just removed one sentence there, but kept this policy primarily intact. And then cooperative work experiences, we added in work-based learning. We now have a work-based learning coordinator, so we've expanded some of our offerings on that front. So just changed the policy to reflect some of that work. And then independent study and correspondence courses, just cleaned up a few things we needed to add in. The North Dakota Center for Distance Education, if we remember, legislation changed around that last session about some of our requirements to pay for courses for students, so we needed to make some tweaks to this, but nothing super major. So that would be all the policies. Are there questions?
The descriptor code, oh geez, that's so. For sick pay bank was, it's coded wrong on our paper. It's CBRIG, but it's actually GBRIG. So just not sure if that makes a difference for us.
Oh, it's wrong on the agenda?
Yeah, on our agenda, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have anything else? What are the wishes of the board on the first reading of the following policies?
I would move that we approve the first reading of the policy, those said policies.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Thank the committee for doing all the work. They went through a bunch of policies again.
We got caught up this year. Because of some federal monitoring, we were a little bit behind on our review, and they did a lot of work this year. Very good group, engaged group.
Good deal. Please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is review and consider release for contract with a request to waive liquidated damages from Connie Sheehan, counselor at Mandan High School, and Faith Wheatgrass, English at Mandan High School.
So the first one, and we'll probably need to do these in two motions, but for Connie Sheehan, her letter was included in your packet. She's requesting to be released from her contract to take a job in Minot, and has some family reasons for needing to do that. So our recommendation is to release her from her contract. And Mr. Peters and the MEA rep and I met and are recommending also waiving the liquidated damages in this situation. We feel like we have a plan to replace her internally that will work out. So that's part of our recommendation to release her from her contract.
All right, let's take care of that one first.
Yes.
This is the one where the recommendation is to release from contract and the waiver liquidated damages. What are the wishes of the board? And then we'll go to any questions.
I move to release her and waive her liquidated damages.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second,
A second.
and we have a second. Any further discussion on it now? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, let's provide the information on Faith Wheatgrass.
Yes,
Dr.
if
Rederath.
you'll, she is asking to be released from her contract. She was been offered a job in Bismarck. For this one, we are asking that we wait to release her from her contract pending us finding a suitable replacement. English is difficult right now, and we've already hired 2 in that area, so we would like to be able to find a replacement before we release her. In addition, when we met about the liquidated damages in this situation, we'd recommend that we enforce the liquidated damages for this situation.
So your recommendation is that we do not at this time release?
Yes, is that we will post the position and see what we can find, and if we're able to find a suitable replacement at that point in time, we'll bring it back to the board.
And then at that point, we can deal with the liquidated
Yes.
damage piece, right?
Yep.
What are the wishes of the board on Faith Wheatgrass?
I move to follow the recommendation of the committee on that front, with just a note that this is consistent to how we approach these, just for the audience and everything. It's consistent how we approach these in general when someone leaves for Bismarck, and this is consistent.
Yes, so typically we take into factors things like extenuating circumstances, like a spouse moving or illness or things like that. When those extenuating circumstances aren't there, is typically when we look at the liquidated damages.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? If not, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item on the agenda is review and consider request to hire the following certified staff. Ryan Kohler, Social Studies at Mandan Middle School. Henrik Jacobson, STEM at Mandan Middle School. Ashley Beck, second grade at Mary Stark. Sonia Johnson, Special Ed at Mandan High School. Anja Schmichael, English at Mandan High School. Alyssa Olson, first grade at Red Trail. And Cyril Nagurski, PE at Mandan High School. And the English teacher in this case is not the one to fill the one that wants to leave, correct?
Correct.
Second.
Yes, it's
opening.
for another opening that we had.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page with
Yes,
that one. All
yes,
right,
and-
go ahead.
2 things I want to note is the STEM position at the middle school and the PE position at the high school are additional FTEs we're adding to handle. We've talked about our bubbles moving up to our middle school and high school as far as large numbers of students, and we're needing to shift FTEs from our elementary level to our middle and high school. So I just want you to be aware that those 2 positions reflect our commitment to do that. And we would recommend you accept the request to hire all of these individuals, and welcome to Mandan. We're excited to have them.
All right, what are the wishes of the board?
I have a question.
Yeah.
All these new hires, our teachers at Custer had first chance at this, didn't they?
Yes. Before we did any new hires or internal transfers, we placed Custer staff first. Dr. Bitts and I met one-on-one with them a couple weeks ago now, and honestly, while it's not a fun process to move people, I don't know that it could have worked out better with the openings and where we were able to put people.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm assuming you said there's a couple of new positions here by us making some of those changes at Custer to open up the ability to do a couple of these positions, correct?
Absolutely. That's part of why I wanted to note that was part of our intention. And when we'd made the hard decision to close Custer was to free up some FTEs that we could move them higher to deal with the bubbles as they're moving up through our system.
All right. Good. All right. Any other questions? What are the wishes of the board on the request to hire the following certified staff?
I would move that we approve the hiring of the certified staff listed.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, please call roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. Next item is future meeting dates. Regular school board, April 20th, 5:30 p.m. City Hall. Regular school board, May 4th, 5:30 p.m. City Hall. State superintendent visit, May 5th, 10:30 a.m. at the Mandan High School. Retirement and recognition, May 6th, 6 p.m. at Venue 25. Regular school board, May 18th, 5:30 p.m. City Hall. Graduation, May 24th, 2 p.m. at the Starion Sports Complex. And the regular school board meeting, January 22nd, 4 p.m. at City Hall. Any other meetings that should come to our attention? Should be on here? Seeing and hearing none, meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for